Carlos Ramirez, owner of NVS Audio in Roselle, New Jersey, and Daytona, Florida. So today was a interesting day. Kind of aggravating, kind of upsetting, but I get over 200 phone calls a day. That's every single day. I get hundreds of emails. I do about 20 to 40 estimates or quotes a day, plus all the social media messages. I try and help as many people as I can. I help shop owners on a daily basis through installs that they have stuck in their bay, or helping them quote out jobs for their clients. So today I get an email, and it was a positive email about how grateful the gentleman is for the amount of content that I put out, that he was able to build his entire audio system just watching my videos. He lives out in the middle of nowhere, so there's no motorcycle audio shops near him. So without my videos, he would never gotten his bike audio complete. Great, perfect, awesome way to start the day. I literally get tons of these emails and they're great. The very next email was a negative review on Google. So that was kind of crazy. So then as I read through the email, it was a gentleman who had just called. He had called a couple of times to get an update on his quote. I said, I'm working on it right now. I put him on hold. He hung up and left me the negative review. So now here's the backstory. He has a 2013 Street Glide. He reaches out to me on Friday. So today is Tuesday. So we're counting business days. So that'd be Friday, Saturday, Sunday we're closed, Monday, 4 days. So he sends me a screenshot of Friday of what was in his shopping cart. I don't know why he cropped out the pricing, because he was on the Insane Asylum's website and everything in the cart was Euphoria Expert. So obviously it's Insane Asylum. And I don't know why you crop the prices out, because I can go right on Insane Asylum's website and see what the prices are of everything you put in the cart. So I'm the type where I don't just give you a quote on what you asked for, because then it's gonna become a headache for you and for me when you bring the bike in and nothing fits. So I was asking a couple of questions and we went back and forth. So on Friday, when he messaged me and went through the shopping cart, immediately I saw that he had a set of 1MB horn tweeters. It's a 2013 Street Glide. So I have to know where you're trying to put these tweeters. So he picked it because currently Insane Asylum's having a package where you get these tweeters and these speakers. I have no problem with the package, but I have to know where you want me to put the tweeters, because are we going to remove one of the gauges? On a 2013 Street Glide, there's really nowhere to put the tweeters, and it's not like he's running Diamond Audio MO75s where you can put them in the grill. This is a full-size, deep 25 millimeter tweeter, so it can only fit in the gauge location, or we can drill out the mirror holes. But the issue on the 13 and down, it's not like the 14 and up where that area is flat. So this tweeter's not gonna sit flat. So I was like, these tweeters are either not gonna fit or we're gonna have to remove gauges. So question number one, why I couldn't just give him a quote. Then we go back and forth because he hasn't shown me a picture of the bike. He picked two gigantic Euphoria Expert amplifiers, 3000.1 and the 400.4. So he's trying to get this done before Bike Week. So I'm asking him questions. Does the bike have a tour pack? I want to know if the bike has a tour pack, because I'm not going to be able to fit both these amps in the fairing. Anybody that's done a 13 down Street Glide knows you have room for a big amplifier on top of the radio. Then after that, you either have to, I don't know what radio he's running either. If you're running a shallow radio, maybe you could put one behind the headlight, but then you have to space the headlight out. It's a ton of work. And then what makes it even harder, a lot of the 13 and downs have those 3D printed fairing supports. So I want to know if those are on the bike too, because then that's going to make it even more difficult. On top of that, what DSP are you running? Because the DSP is going to have to fit between either side. So I have to make sure that the 6.5s that he wants fit in the adapters to convert it over to a 6.5. Then I have to see how much space I have between the speaker and the rail. If he has a stock metal rail, it's easier. If he's got the 3D printed one, it's harder. See which DSP he's running, because if the DSP is too wide, it's not going to fit where we normally put it. So I asked him if the bike had a tour pack. He said no. So then halfway through the conversation, he said, I'll get a Razor tour pack so we can put the amp in the tour pack. No problem. He's saying he wants mid bass on the bike. I'm looking at the part number that he has in his shopping cart, and it's a subwoofer. So now the reason that's an issue is the bags that he purchased might not be wide enough to run the port that we would run with subwoofers. And if he's using a subwoofer, it's going to be a different size port than a mid-bass driver. He purchased Bad Dad bags. Love Bad Dad. They make awesome bags. What I thought was strange is if you're on the Insane Asylum's website, why wouldn't you order Scott's bags that Scott has designed to work with Euphoria Expert woofers? And then on top of that, you can have the ring and the port molded in. That way it makes it easier. Bad Dad offers that service, and Insane Asylum offers that service. So you have a set of rings in the shopping cart. So you want me to mount the rings, which I'm fine with. And now I got to calculate the port before I give you a quote. So we have the issue with the mid-bass drivers. Not sure if we can get the amplifiers to fit in. Going back and forth. So as I look through the history, I've talked to this client before. Our first text was in July 26th of 2024. No, it was actually February 26th, 2024, right before Bike Week again. So last year before Bike Week you reached out, now this year before Bike Week you reached out. So no problem. He asked about 8-inch expert mid-bass drivers. I sent him a link, and then I sent the link to the 1600.1 I recommend. He asked me if it works with the bass knob. I told him the 1600.1 does. He says he has an 800.4 on his bike. Would a bass knob work with that? I told him no, it wouldn't. The very next text was July 26th. So the first text was February 27th, 2024. The next text was July 26th. He asked for a payment link, wanted to purchase an amplifier. I sent the link, he never paid. Completely fine with that, I'm not upset. Gone back and forth a few times, sent you a link, no problem. Reaches out again. So this past Friday, on January 30th, 2025, he asked how much to install this list of equipment on my 2023 Street Glide. So we went back and forth a little bit. I asked him a few questions, and I said rough estimate. I gave him a rough estimate on the labor, and I gave him a rough estimate on the equipment. So the back and forth started around 2 o'clock. By 3:44, he had a quote. I gave him a rough quote on labor and gave him a rough quote on equipment. He knows what the equipment costs because he had all the equipment in his shopping cart from the Insane Asylum website. He insisted on an itemized quote. Now the problem is when you ask me for an itemized quote, I can't do it from my phone. I have to stop what I'm doing, go to the front, go to the computer. Anybody that knows me knows I spend the entire day in the work bay. So I'm either tuning bikes or fiberglassing or helping my techs out or dealing with clients. I spend very little time in front of the computer. So if you want an itemized quote, it's going to take longer because I got to sit there, I got to put your information in, I got to put all the product in, I got to make sure what's available, and that takes longer. So he knew what the price was from Insane Asylum. I gave him a rough quote. So on the same day, within an hour and a half, an hour and 44 minutes, he had a rough estimate what it would cost him, but he insisted on an itemized quote. No problem. He wanted mid-bass. He had subwoofers listed on the estimate sheet. Literally gave me a screenshot of them. I'll show you in the video. Literally sent me a screenshot of his shopping cart, and they were the carbon fiber Euphoria Expert subwoofers, not mid-bass drivers. So now, how I'm going to quote you, if I don't know the port length, you're saying mid-bass driver, you're showing me an invoice for subwoofers, no problem. Euphoria makes 2 different 10-inch mid-bass drivers. He wasn't sure which one he wanted. No problem. So we go back and forth. I just want to know if I'm wrong here. So I gave you a quote the day you asked for the quote. I gave you a rough quote, gave you a rough estimate. It took me 3 days to get you an official estimate, and I still have questions. Do you think I deserved a negative review for that? I feel like I go above and beyond, and I told him too, I was like, if I had just given you a quote, you would have ended up with all the wrong parts on your bike. So you're penalizing me because I care, because I want to make sure you get the right information and the right products. Like, I don't understand. I try and help people as much as I can. How many other shops do you know that you can call and speak to the owner? Like, everybody calls has access to me. I talk to as many people as I can. I help as many people as I can. It's just frustrating but luckily most people appreciate it and they thank me all the time, and I get emails and text messages. You guys are awesome. But did I handle this wrong? What was it that I did that I deserve a negative review? And it's not fair that you're able to give me a negative review on Google if I've never done business with you. So That would be like me calling the Mercedes dealer and giving them a negative review because I think 100,000 for an S class is too much. Um, I don't think it's fair. Let me know in the comments if you think I was wrong in the way that I handled it. Then, I wrote him back. I was like, can't believe you left me a negative review. I was like, I literally had you on hold as I was working on your quote. You hung up, left me a negative review. I wish you well on your build. And by the way, here's the part number for the correct woofer that would work in those bags and in that port setup. So even though he left me a negative review, I'm still trying to give him information to help him because that's just who I am. But I think this was kind of crazy. Had me in a weird mood all day because I'm running the scenario over in my head like, wow, what did I do wrong? And he's been asking me for quotes for a full year now. See, this started last year before Bike Week, and every time he texts me, I responded. And now you're in a rush. You got a quote from Insane Asylum. You want another quote from us. The quote had to be itemized, and you wanted it immediately. Like, I don't know what I did wrong, but whatever. I just wanted to vent a little bit. You guys let me know what you think, and have a great day.